Hi, I'm Elder. I'm the founder of the NEXX helmets, and actually, I'm the CEO of the company. The next collection, well, in this moment is always the last one, always. Now, in this moment is the Rally. I used to is the Rally and the XTR. Okay, it's the helmets I use in a daily basis. I am not properly. I'm not an adventure rider like Kadafi and so many other guys, but is where I like to be. Is mostly in off-road. 80-90% of my time is on a adventure bike. In this moment, I have a Northern Expedition 901. The last one is the bike I have for the last 1 year. Carbon, because I get from free, so I have carbon.
Hey guys, I would like to introduce you Helder, visionary, NEXX helmet founder, CEO of the company. I'd like to ask you a question about how it's all started here, how you build this empire, and how much it takes to go through all these years for you and make something really incredible what we see here now.
Okay. First of all, thank you very much, Kadafi, to give me this opportunity. Yeah. So I start why I founded NEXX. I was working previously in a helmets factory. I came from as a mechanical engineer. I was working in a company that once received contact from a motorcycle helmets manufacturer here in Portugal. And this guy asked me to do a kind of automatic equipment for assembling to give him some proposals. So I gave. So we started kind of a contact there, and the guy then he asked me to join the company. He wants to start more in terms of exports, and I speak a little bit of English. And and I love motorcycles. For me, it was great opportunity to travel, something I love. So I really joined this company, and I was working there for 5 years. It was a company that produced only plastic helmets, mainly only one model, the full face helmet, like 90% of the production. Naturally, after some time working there, I tried to change a little bit the product mentality, the strategy of the company with my boss. Of course, we were speaking kind of a different language for the future, and naturally I decided, okay, I think this is not the future for the strategy of the company. So naturally I move out. I found some guys that they know that I was not happy in the company. They'd like to invest with me. So I quit the company and I found the NEXX 25 years ago with 3 other guys.
Okay, so we move on to the next question. So basically you are producing all the helmets here in Portugal, employing a lot of people from local. Also, I see that you are growing a lot by having agents now in the whole Europe and the distributors. And we know them. We know the company now in Poland a lot, and I see a lot of riders in the NEXX helmets now. Like from the last 2 years, I see like the big community grow. So I like to ask you, like, what is your goal for the next 2 years regarding the company? Like, what is like to be achieved?
Yeah. Yeah. First of all, yes, the company has have been go very well. The last year have been quite difficult. Like, let's say, since 2017, that was a terrible year for us. We have kind of 3-4 bad events, like one big customer bankruptcy, many bad events. Then when we were recovering, we have the fire. Then we have the COVID, and after COVID, we have. For me, it was the biggest issue ever in the factory was the ECE 2206, not ECE 2206 itself, but the needs to redesign a full collection, that 11 models, and then you start with 3 models only. The market, overstock on the market, so it was quite complicated. 2023, but 24 we have done well, 25 super stable, and we are doing very well in 26, so we are now very positive. And in terms of goals and ambition, still there, very strong. And we are trying to achieve big goals. We have the project 2031, that is when we'll have our 30th anniversary. And what are the big goals? One is the new factory. As you said, Kadafi, we are growing a lot. The collection and NEXX have been more and more successful. We are investing more and more also in market, because one of the problems is the brand awareness could be much bigger. Our budget in market, we need to reallocate the budget in development, in design, in the redesign of the collection for the 2206. And nowadays we are reinvesting more and more in market. And for sure, with this we can have much more brand awareness, and naturally the sales will grow. We have great collection, great product. We have a great team here internally with a lot of passion. We have a lot of motorcycle fans inside the company, so it's super easy to work here in NEXX, because the people really enjoy this. And we see that we have super strong base here on the company to have a strong growth. And because of this, we have done a huge investment last year. We bought 80,000 square meters right in front of this factory.
I saw it.
So it's a very nice space that will allow us to grow for decades. So and the big goal now is we have one constraint, that is our production capacity in this moment. And this is the reason why we are starting the project for the new factory, that will be able to, the first phase, to triple the production. And this is the goal for till 2031, to achieve this and get that stability already in the new factory. And of course, then there's still the other dream for me is to have my brand, our brand, NEXX in racing, a very good racing department. But a lot of people ask me, why don't you go? And I say, I'm already getting old. I'm 30 years already in this market, and I already saw many brands bankrupt because they invest huge money in the racing program, in MotoGP, and I don't want to do the same mistake, of course. So I want first to have great product. Second, I want great production, and then when this investment will not put in danger, jeopardize our healthy finance, only then we'll decide to go. Of course, we have the plan. We imagine when we should be done, but before we need a strong, because we don't want to go to MotoGP and be okay. We have one helmet there. No, we want something more. We want to do like a real platform for our engineers, for our community, to do really something special. And this you need a big investment. You cannot play like if you need 1 million, you just put there 1,000 euros. No. You need a strong, stable investment, proper planning. The internal team super well prepared to do this. So in this moment, I don't feel the company prepared, but I feel prepared to start to think about this.
Yeah.
But the biggest goal now is the huge investment we'll do in the state-of-the-art factory, the new factory.
Yeah. I can see that the NEXX adopting to the market also by providing us, for example, the new helmets for adventure, and you are developing a lot of new stuff,
Yeah.
Which is great. You mentioned in the conversation about the fire back in the days. I heard about it also. It was very difficult time for the company. And I can see now, like you guys working now, also like the space is very limited, and like there is more people. I was here 2 years ago, and what I see now, it's you can see with the like you can see that is a lot is happening here, which is great for us also. As I'm the become ambassador for. Thank you for this opportunity.
No, we thank you.
3 years ago, I try to represent the company the best I can, and also NEXX helmet saves me many times. I ride it since beginning, 3-4 years now. I use many helmets. I crash with helmets. Yes, I did. And
but we have a lab here. You don't need to crash.
Yeah, I know, but it's happened while you're riding, and that's why we're wearing them for. So the safety is very important for me. I like to thank you for providing us the best safety on the world.
Kadafi.
And NEXX helmet is your big focus is on the carbon fiber, right? That's what you like to develop to the point that it's going to be just great.
We are investing
Tell us about
a lot. We spend a lot of money on research, on raw materials, and we try CK with the carbon or Kevlar, this and that, to achieve the best performance. We don't care about the cost. We really want of course the cost. It matters, no, of course, but to have something that great that our end user can afford. Okay, it's a kind of a compromise. But in terms of safety, you visit the company, you see how many our control. We crash. I think last year was around 3,000 helmets. It's huge. A lot because of production, because we have a very severe quality control. Every week we destroy a lot of helmets to check impact absorption, the chin strap, the roll-off, all the tests we do every week.
Today you crashed 3 when we saw it. We walked through the lab and the guy was crashing. He was doing the 2 different crashes. First was the impact crash,
today,
which is very.
It was the R&D department today, because normally we do the quality department is Fridays.
Okay, but we saw it that is happening.
No, because why? The R&D department is always looking for getting better and better and better. We are working our own safety standard that covers all the homologation in the world. We are looking to have minimum 30% tolerance. So let's say that if the acceleration, the maximum peak is 275, we are looking for 180 or 160. So it depends. We have our own standard. So we are really investing a lot of money, not always to never compromise the safety. And it's not only the shell, the PS, all the raw materials we use. The design, all the engineers around the helmet, you saw, we do everything. Is something that really, I'm really proud of my team. We do everything in-house, 100%. It's not only the production, also the project itself, we do 100% in-house. Of course, we use also some other subcontractors, so it's never normal. 100%, but we can develop by ourselves 100%. Also the decals, we design our own decals, so we keep our philosophy of design, of communication of the company, so we manage everything internally. And this is giving us speed, this is giving us a lot of knowledge, so we are not putting knowledge outside our factory. And I think this is good reasons to develop the brand.
So carbon fiber is the future of, you think, is the future of the helmets? And you are one of the first who are actually working so long on it.
We start carbon in 2006. I am not telling you that we were the first, for sure we were not. But I think, not sure, but I think starting like really mass production, like really put helmet in the collection to sell, I think we were one of the first, carbon in 2006 with the XR1R, that we were very successful. We learned a lot, so we start with the carbon dry layer. We learn a lot, we get a super stable and very good production. But in 2016, so 10 years after we start the dry layer, we start with the pre-preg. Why the pre-preg? Because the pre-preg, first of all, of course, is much more expensive, but in terms of quality, in terms of safety, it gives you much more. So much more safety, capacity of absorption with less weight. So we start for investigating, doing tests. Then we stop because we have the fire. We were obliged to put everything in hold. Then in 2019 we restart different concept. And in 2020 we released the first helmet with the pre-preg. So starting slow, we keep the dry layer. When we get confidence on the pre-preg, we just say, okay, in terms of profit, of course, the dry layer was much higher. It's the reason why many brands still doing carbon helmets, but with a dry layer. But we decide, okay, this is the future, and let's bet on this. And 2021 we stop with the dry layer, and nowadays is only 100% pre-preg. Better helmet, lighter. And in terms of environment for us, for our production, you saw there, Kadafi,
Yes.
on the facility, is in terms of environment and the health for our workers, you can't compare. It's
No,
not
no,
much
no.
better.
It's everything.
It's like a lab. It's really very, very good. The people almost, they don't need to use any masks. So because
No,
it
we
was
see all the
very good.
filtration and
The
yeah,
filtration,
even,
you saw the filtration everywhere.
everything is on top. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what else we can say? I want to wish you the success for the future years.
Thank you.
I like you to see NEXX to be payoff for the hard work that is doing for us here in Europe.
We are so positive. In this moment, Kadafi, what the feeling of the company is like, guys, we have done a great job. Now just leave. The market knows that we have done a great job, and slowly, and of course, keeping this, the quality, the design,
Because
the right release on the proper time. I think the return will be natural.
okay, but because what you can see, for example, there is a lot of people you can see in there's a lot of promotion going on in the internet, in the social medias now. The NEXX haven't done that campaign yet. I mean, we have some ambassadors, but it was not like the company didn't have a much push on us, like to create content, to record. You just want us to ride the helmets, test the helmets, to give you feedback, and that was for me the very good opportunity to learn how safety is important for us, and how helmets are one of the things that have no price. That if we can develop the helmet that give us, non-helmet give you the guarantee, but if we can develop the helmet that they give you the maximum potential, that is the win.
Yeah.
That is the big win.
Yeah, we have done
Saving lives.
like the shell, the carbon shell. We still develop, we still do improvements, but it's always an improvement that is. Sometimes we can speed up, but I don't allow the people to speed up too much. Okay, we can speed up if we are sure that we are doing the right thing. Okay, then we can speed up. But normally, okay, it's like investigate, test, confirm the test, put in production, follow the market. Okay, then we can put in mass production. But everything, I can tell you, the first helmet pre-preg we release on the market, we choose one specific model that we knew that would be a small quantity, but enough to be sure that we are in the proper way. Okay, of course, never compromise the safety of the end user, but something that we can have the traceability, we can follow, and to know that okay, resistance of UV. The weather, the end user itself, if he said okay, is in terms of noise, in terms of rigidity. So we start this process very slowly. Okay, as I told you, we start the first in 2019. So we are going for the 7th year already. For us, we say internally that still we are still very young. on this. So we imagine that within 10 years we'll be much better, because we'll never stop, never stop.
But also technology improve now, yeah? We have
of course.
access to the better
New raw
technology, new
materials,
stuff, yeah.
A lot of new raw materials, new resins. There's so much to learn and so much to
But
to
it needs
develop.
time to take it, to test
Time
it.
and investment. We invest a lot we do in this moment. We invest more in investigation. So almost 10% of our turnover is for capex, investigation, machinery. We really invest a lot, much more than marketing. Maybe if we want to grow, maybe we should change. Okay, start to invest less, investigation less, and more.
No,
marketing.
but that's not the road.
We want to build first a strong brand, a strong product, and then naturally, I truly believe that naturally, then the people will recognize and see the quality and see that we transmit something that they can trust. Because at the end, this is a safety product. This is the basic. Okay.
For sure, we can see more riders riding NEXX now. I witnessed it. Like I said, I've been with NEXX for 3 years, and for the last.
And you know, the new collection, the Extra Leaf, is amazing.
Yeah,
You already.
it's lovely. I'm just going. Can't wait
amazing.
to. I had the prototype.
The XTR is the helmet I'm using now in the winter. I use almost every day, and I can say I never try. Of course, is one of our babies, of course, but I'm very. I can split the things. I already tried from other brands. I can say no. This helmet is the best helmet I ever tried. I ever ride, and is the best helmet we ever built internally. Is really in terms of engineering, everything, the noise, the comfort, the helmet is really good. So it's what I said to my team. Okay, guys, we have done a great job. So naturally, we squeeze a lot of fruit. Naturally, we'll start to drink the juice.
Okay, and what is the biggest race between your competitors, like between other brands that are producing the helmets? Is like, what is the race for? Is obviously the price is important, which we understand, but also is like the weight, design, the look, the colors.
Compare why some sell more than others. I think. Look, we still one of the youngest brands in the market, and we are already 25 years old. So of course, it's not easy to reach the crowd like some other big companies. Okay, it takes time. It takes a huge efforts in markets. So of course, in some brands is the people know the quality. Some other brands there is the weight. Some other brands just invest in put on the shops huge margins, okay, to the guys, and just put on the shelves, and the people naturally will go there. Some invest huge money in MotoGP. There's different ways. The path we choose in this moment is for product, safety.
Yeah, I see a lot of safety. Yeah. I see like you have 3 or 4 stands where people are working, and every process have the quality control, and then after quality control there is like after quality control, which is really impressive.
Each helmet we do 3 quality controls, but this quality control is in terms of the quality of the product. I go deep in a quality is the safety of the shell, DPS, the really high control in each part of the helmet. But I think we already reach super quality. At this moment, I can say, just put this helmet besides any other brand. I don't want to mention any other brand.
We're not here to
I say, okay. We can improve in weight, for sure. We can improve in noise reduction, for sure. There's more we can do, but we are doing. But this
improving on the weight is not like at the moment, like, because I think doing your test, having your knowledge and everything, you believe that if you reduce right now the weight, every time the weight is removed from the helmet, having the impact on the safety.
The weight is very easy.
But have the impact on the safety, right?
Of course, this is the challenge.
So that's what I want to mention.
Keep the quality we have now, as I told you, we want a big tolerance for the maximum values of the homologations. So to keep these and reduce the weight, this is the challenge, okay? and with the proper price that the end user can afford. This is the big challenge, and this is where we are working. Okay, keep the same quality, less weight. This is what we are working, and then we are doing
slowly, because the new helmet is already
yeah.
reduced, right?
Yeah,
Which
of
is
course,
not a lot,
of course.
but it already feel great, right?
Yeah,
Already feel great in your
yeah.
hand, and you
And
can see it's
we are
happening.
doing well, and everything, each new collection, we give
But you
extra
cannot go too low as well, right? We can go to some point,
Yeah,
and
of
then
course, of
obviously the
course.
material is material,
Yeah,
and we
yeah,
cannot
yeah.
do much about it,
Yeah,
right?
but we can speak, we can work on the process, we can work in the IPS, we can work in different raw materials,
Yeah.
and we are doing, as I told you, we invest a lot of money in innovation, a lot.
Yeah.
We work with, now we have a big cluster, aeronautic cluster in Portugal. We have very good big companies working in investigation, so we are partners of these companies. There are two, and these guys can also help us to new materials, new process, and we work on this.
And you don't have to do your own safety tests here because, I mean, you don't have to, but you do it because you're making sure that when the inspection come, because it's like certifying, when they come, they can come anytime to the factory, right? Pick up 3-4 helmets and they want them to be tested, right?
We can perform all the tests from all the homologations. We are in this moment certifying the lab because we have all the machinery, so we are working on this. And yes, big investment in safety.
So I find out today when the batch of helmets is coming with NEXX, so you pick up random helmets and you test them. You actually, this costing money, right? You have to produce them to the end, to the last finish, and this beautiful helmet is going to be destroyed.
So you can imagine last year 3,000 helmets. The cost of this is really big investment.
Yes,
it's not the easy industry. It's a nice, very fun. I love this industry. It's like a passion. Very easy to be manager of all this team because they love this. So it's good to give them like a motivation. It's very, very nice, but it's not easy because we are talking about the safety. We are talking about a lot of chemical industry on this. So we have the environment. So it's not easy industry. The manufacturing is quite the people. When they look to the helmet, they don't imagine how complex is the helmet. Only when the people like you, you come to the factory and you see how many people we need, how many different industries we have here in the factory. Because we produce, as you saw, we produce 100% in-house. Okay, the stitching, the painting, the decals, everything is in-house. So it's the reason why we have 260 people on the
That's why I want to ask you how many people NEXX employ.
260 in total. In the shop floor is around 200 almost. So 60 people on R&D, marketing, design, accounting.
How many people grow between 2 years? Like within 2 years, do you employ more people? Or?
Yeah, I'd say more or less 40 people. Last 2 years, 40
that's
people.
A lot.
Yeah. So,
that's a lot.
Yeah, the carbon is really, we are increasing. Every quarter we need to increase more, and of course, this is an end work. We are getting better and better in the process itself to manufacture, but of course, this you need, even with the new machinery we are buying, with the new robotic we are buying, you need the workers.
Okay, great. And you also have a possibility to produce for another brands if they come to NEXX and say, could you make helmets for us with our logo?
It's not our goal. It's not our goal. No, our goal is NEXX.
Okay.
NEXX is if we have sometimes we accept some projects like we are
because we saw the Touratech helmets. That's why I like to. That's why I mention it. And why this happened.
Working with OEMs or other brands only or. Okay, it's a very good business in terms of incoming, okay? Or there's something that could be very nice for the company in terms of synergy, like Hugo Boss was great for the marketing department, for logistics, for brand awareness to show the people was great. Touratech, specialist in adventure. Adventure is is my field where I like to have a motorcycle. Huge opportunity. I said, okay, let's go. It's also good business, and we have super great relationship with the Touratech guys. So
that's the only way you agreed to do it.
Some projects like Shimano, okay, sustainability, okay, great, let's go for this. It's not for the business itself, but can give us some insights. Great, let's go. Project is only okay to get the kind of occupy the production. No, it's not our goal. Guys. So the focus is next.
Okay.
We try to don't have more than 10% in a OEM.
Okay.
Is the
Okay.
maximum. Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a good for the company that you depend on you. You don't depend on other brands because
Of course,
if you
yeah.
depend on another person, then you never know. that
We manage our
what's
future.
happening. Perfect. So, guys, before you choose the helmets, think twice. We won't tell you what to use, but you have some good answers here, I think. So, NEXX helmets for life.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Okay. Bye bye.